working. Anthoniel, Julia, and Meldanine, and thank you once again for joining me. My name is Lord Aramil, and today I'm doing something a little bit different than my normal musings. Not much, but I guess it's more of a frustrated, angry musing. It's going to be kind of me bitching for just a little bit, okay? Okay. So, that's a bit of background. Actually, a couple pieces back. One of the reasons why I started doing this is because it's, kind of therapeutic. It's nice being able to just talk, and even if there is a bit of interaction with people who are watching, even better. But a lot of it is just me being able to talk, being able to air my thoughts, and to record them for posterity or whatever. Good morning, Chris. Hello. So there's kind of, the big reason why I'm doing all these musing videos. And, it's fun. It's something for me to do on Saturdays. Cool. The second bit of background, which more relates to today's topic, which is me. Sorry. A little less backlit. Talking about Undermountain. Now, mind you, this is a hardback book. This is a full 3.5 D&D book. This will become important later, I promise. It also is a campaign adventure for players level 1 to 10. That is the entirety of several campaigns that I've played in. One book. Cool. So, I think I've talked about my Staff of Novus campaign previously. The long and the short of it is the characters are on a quest for the 12 pieces to the magical Staff of Novus, and they're kind of racing against other organizations, groups, adventuring parties, whatever. Yeah. And this is great. Yeah. Because it gives a level of incentive, an idea on we really need to get this done quickly. And they do, because it's entirely possible that other people will get to these shards before them, especially if they spend too much time in-game, futzing about. Now, I'll admit that a lot of this rant is ultimately my fault as the DM. We'll get that disclaimer out of the way. All is well. So, part of this campaign is because I want to have a little bit of everything. A little bit of dungeon delving, a little bit of massive scale warfare. Not just, large combats, but like hundreds, maybe thousands of people, and pull out the Heroes of Battle, yeah, I think, supplement. Just get that stuff. Bit of vehicular combat, ship-to-ship combat on the seas, or subaquatic. A bit of, what is that? Sorry, I didn't sleep well last night either, which is probably not helping, but let's see. There's another one, the desert, whatever. Yeah, the desert supplement. We'll get that in there. Probably go to the far north at some point, Everywhere. We're going everywhere. We're doing everything. All across Forgotten Realms, basically. If there's a continent, I want my players to be able to say, like, boom, we've gone there. Hell yeah. Which is a lofty goal, but also I think we can do it. There's a lot of the Forgotten Realms world that is just terra incognito. Like, nobody knows what the fuck is going on there. It's basically a really mashed up Earth. So you can definitely see, okay, this is Europe, over here's the Middle East, Asia is here, and the Asian-inspired and Middle Eastern-inspired civilizations are where you would expect them to be. There's the Mesoamerican-esque land of Mazteca, which is definitely just a hodgepodge of Aztec, Mayan, maybe even Olmec. Just, it's all up in there. So you can get a basic idea for what would be in any of these terra incognita lands. I'm probably going to draw pretty strongly on Navajo and Iroquois for the northern section of Mazteca, as well as maybe draw more Incan for the southern Mazteca, if we go there. That's completely questionable. And I'll probably make Australia just the home of dinosaurs. Just a shitload of dinosaurs. Yeah. But, all that being said, is mainly to say that I have a vague idea of what the campaign should do. Right? I have this vague idea that everybody will go to these very great and wonderful places and do things there. Yeah. And one of the places I wanted to go was Waterdeep, because I've spent a lot of time there in a previous campaign, but I don't think... Well, one of the players was in that campaign, which was kind of fun for her also, just as, you know, like, oh, I've been here before, I have a vague idea of what's going on. Good. And that's good. I'll probably make at least a couple oblique references to that campaign. Sorry. But what I wanted for Waterdeep isn't just a city adventure, because I do have one of those, well, not planned, but I plan to do one. But I wanted to go to Undermountain, because Undermountain is perhaps the largest dungeon ever published. Now, I have to state that published part, because my dad's dungeon blows this shit out of the water. But unfortunately, that isn't finished yet, and therefore is not published in any way, shape, or form. I really should have grabbed some of my old maps out for comparison. But anyways, the point remains is that we adventured in that dungeon for 6 goddamn years. And we aren't half done. We might be a quarter done with what is currently drawn up, but that what is drawn up is probably like half, if that, of the planned dungeon. I am certain that my brother and I will inherit the creation of this dungeon from my father, because there's just so much there that I don't think it can be done in one lifetime, honestly. My dad's been working on this dungeon on and off for like 40 years. Think about that. And he still apparently has dreams where sections of this dungeon just come to him. Yeah. So with that in mind, you can perhaps see what I'm expecting from Undermountain. And, you know, I took a really quick glance into Undermountain, the book, before I, started all this, before I sent them off. So, I'll show you one picture. I'll try to get it in without too much glare. Yeah, so there's the dungeon level, which is kind of like the closest level, alright? Yeah, it's pretty complicated. There's a lot going on. But again, this is basically what I expect from my dad's dungeon, so I'm like, okay, cool, we can work with this. Now, it goes on to discuss several other levels, including levels that have like a forest practically. So this is a big dungeon. I won't deny that. There's a lot going on here. There are whole towns and safe havens within this dungeon or connected to this dungeon. Hell, they even how many pages did they spend? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Six and a we'll say 6 pages are spent talking about the Yawning Portal Inn, which is located on top of the entrance to Undermountain. 6 pages. Okay. We then get to the actual map of the first level of the dungeon. Yes, so here, I don't know. I probably shouldn't show that actually, because it is entirely possible that one of my players will actually watch this. Needless to say, this map here, if you compare it, and I have, to the original map I showed you, the dungeon level, yes, they don't connect. There is no obvious place where this map and the other map are a thing. They are separate. They are not. They could be on the other side of the planet, for all I know. Basically, they show off a bunch of very interesting, don't get me wrong, very interesting large maps. And then they give you tiny, absolutely tiny in comparison maps. I'm just going to try and find something that I could probably safely show to my... a lot of them are very confusing about how you get from one place to the other. I was looking in one, actually. I spent about half an hour raiding through this book, trying to figure out how they would get from one level to the next. And it turns out that it's in a room labeled a storeroom, mind you. Storage, alright? And you have to enter into a portal that is in the storeroom, for whatever reason. And from there, you get to this next level. Like, why? What's wrong with stairs? Like, there are stairs on that first level, but you can't get up them. Like, first, an avalanche falls on them. That's a trap. And then from there, it's just... there's basically a wall of force at the top. Like, really? You're gonna do that? These characters are supposed to be level 1. And you're literally saying rocks fall, and any first level character would die. Alright, it's like more than fireball damage. What you doing? I don't even know. I'm like, here, see that? That's cute. That's what it is. It looks like somebody took a picture of an ant farm and just put it into their dungeon software. The original layer that I showed, that dungeon layer, looks like they had an intern. They paid him for 2 hours to play around in dungeon software. Like, just, like, here you go practice QCAD. Now, mind you, That would be a fantastic job. And if Wizards of the Coast ever wants to pay me even minimum wage, just here, go on this computer, design dungeons for us forever. And I'm like, okay. Whatever, man, like, I'd do it. I'm not going to, say that that person is wrong. And, I mean, it looks great, mind you. Looking at this dungeon, actually at all of these sections of dungeon, they look great. Beautiful, even. It's just... It's less than what I was expecting. It's underwhelming. Because while it is a beautiful map, once again, I will show it off. Trying to get less glare. It's not working very well. Like, I expected this to be a complete adventure in and of itself. And like that little section that I almost showed you, that is a complete section. It's got encounters, it's got what monsters are, what roaming monsters are likely to be in the area. Most of the rooms are detailed. And that's what I expected the entire dungeon to be. And that, apparently, is fantasy. And not the sword and sorcery kind, but just my own naivete. So this is a frustrated review. It is a good supplement. I'm not going to knock it, but if you're hoping to have a full campaign in and around Undermountain, like this book would assume, you need to spend a lot of time both reading the book, editing what it has in it, and otherwise preparing. No, I shouldn't show it because I'm going to be using that section anyways. But the next section that my players are going to run into, hopefully, if they can figure out how to use this damn portal, it has like 8 tunnels just going off the map, mind you. And these tunnels don't connect to anything that I can figure out, which is frustrating beyond belief. But these tunnels have been blocked off by the inhabitants of the dungeon. No. Why? Why in the world would you have that? Just don't include them. Why? Because the players are curious. They think that, oh no, this place has obviously been blocked off. That means there's something behind it. And I have to say, like, no, not really. You just spent an afternoon chiseling through this boarded up wall for nothing. Yay! Anyways, that's my rant.